only in 8 years, they've never done such a thing in heart failure therapies to issue that. And the qualifications you get to an additional $8,800 roughly is you have to hit certain clinical criteria, nothing like it in the market, clinically significant improvement in outcomes. And we got issued that not only on an inpatient basis, but an outpatient basis. I know you're waiting to hear the bad part. You're ready to hear the bad part? It's exciting. There's 3 times in my career. I got lucky 3 times. Maybe the harder you work, the luckier you get.
What are the qualifications again for a patient in order to get the
Class 3 heart failure, 1 admission in the last year, systolic or diastolic dysfunction. That means their ventricle can be pumping fine, or their ventricle will be messed up. And in fact, if we're going to go deep, do a deep dive into diastolic and systolic heart failure, if you look at diastolic heart failure therapies, it's very hard to manage that. And the results were actually even better in the diastolic right heart failure patients to manage this way.
Is there a limit? Can you repeat those qualifications one more time? You said class 3, 1 admission last year.
That's it.
Is there a limit on ejection fraction?
Nope. That's the beauty. So you can have a poor ejection fraction, left heart or right heart failure, and they both have shown statistical improvement for both ends.
So could it be a minimum of class
3. So now class 3 and 4, that's why I'm saying those things are subjective, right? So class 4 can become a class 3, 3 can be 4, and there's 2 to 3. So those are subjective. So yes, but the actual indication is class 3. Any more questions?
So once the lens is implanted and it's telling the doctor that it's for,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
that it's telling the doctor, because he gets the readout of the pressure, it's symptomatic, what can the doctor do at that point?
What did I do with the information?
No, yeah, what can the doctor do with that patient at that point before they're in the hospital?
Okay, so the way it's going is that patient, the physician will set up an alert. Say, listen, if this guy's pressure is X amount, I'll get an email. They get the email and say, hey, your pressures are high. I want you to double up on your Lasix, your diuretics, your meds, your nitrates, whatever it is that their treatment plan is. You get them what we call euvolemic to normal volume status.
And remember, this is the reading of the pressure in the pulmonary artery is occurring days before the symptoms start. So if you're able to identify that as a result of the pulmonary pressure, then you're able to modify the medications and you actually prevent the symptoms from ever occurring.
So without this, how long is it taking us to identify that something happened? 3 days we're talking about.
So by the time we hit the standard of care, which is what's happening today, it's a weight change and congestion. A weight change is already decompensation, so you're about 3 to 4 days before that patient is in the hospital. So your window of therapy is very narrow. What if I told you, bro, instead of giving you, hey, listen, a hurricane is coming in 3 days, or it's coming in 25 days.
Right.
You're 20, 15. Bro, I give you 25 days to intervene before you got in trouble. That's beautiful.
Is it sharing the compliance of a patient?
Say that again?
I said it doesn't take the compliance of a patient because a lot of times we're also waiting on the patient to between our visits, they got to tell us that they weighed themselves and they went up in weight or whatever. This automatically alerts your physician, so therefore it takes it out of the patient's hands.
Okay, you hit my weak spot. If I have one area of vulnerability, just like always, it's patient compliance. These patients have to sit on a pillow for 1 minute and press a button. It could be a phone call.
Sit like on the button or lay on the
Lay on the bed or on a gurney. However it was calibrated at the beginning, most of the time it'll just be lay flat.
Okay.
So somebody would be kind enough to pick up that phone or, hey, it's the button. A lot of money to press that
How often do
button.
they have to do that?
Great question. So we'd like, ideally, if the patient is what we call euvolemic or volume status in a pleasant volume status loading condition. Once a week you can do it. The data suggests, the cardiac study was based on doing it daily. When they download once a week, all that data is going to be sent through. So they'll have trends. So you're not managing a day, you're going to manage a trend. So you'll see gradual changes like that.
So Jenny, we already see our patients normally once a week, so we'll have a 1 week 8, 1 week 9, so that's already automatic, we already do that. So it's just a matter of us saying.
Or even if you have somebody on, all we gotta say, remember, they don't know what's happening behind the scenes. All I have to say is, look, these guys are super qualified and very well educated and versed in cardio medicine. Whether you have a person just call, hey, Mr. Robinson, what's fun today?
We're going anyway.
You don't even have to show up.
We're going.
But get me that data. Without that data, I'm in trouble. So I gotta make sure my compliance is up. So when we do this, and we're setting a standard of excellence, because every patient that comes through my way, if they come through my door again, and we go back to Total Home Health and say, bro, you got it.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna guarantee your data, by us showing up once a week. You're now guaranteed to have the data.
There you go. So my compliance will be better than anybody in the country.
Our job is to ensure that the patient is
Just help me with
compliant.
compliance.
Right.
That would be our total job.
So if I tell the doctor who implants this, Jamie, he tells me, Jamie, I'm worried about compliance. Don't worry, Total Home Health is on the job. I have 100% compliance anywhere I went, every sensor that I have. And if I can show, if you guys can do that for me in 6 months or a year from now, where we have 100% compliance,
What a
come on.
story.
We're already doing that.
I know this falls right in the wheelhouse. It's right in the way. You're doing it. But you're the only ones educated on this. Is this not working?
So when we're treating a patient like this, is this considered like an outlier? Like a continuous monitoring?
Oh, how long? This is that's a great question.
That's what I'm
So
concerned
often
about.
we get the pacemakers and defibrillators that are put in the chest have life expectancy could be 10 years, could be 5 years, 7 years, depending on whatever. This particular technology is for the life of the patient. There's no battery. There's no. You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Some people think we're like.
I'm sorry. So this particular technology has no battery, no energy source, or anything. It's one implant for the life of that patient.
What if you
And
what if you already have a patient?
you can have a pacemaker, a defibrillator, you can have all kinds of hip replacements, you can have, the contraindications are absolute size and girth, like a huge morbid obesity, and the reason is because the distance between the chest wall and that pillow will be too far, they can't read it. That's that's kind of like one of the problems. But other than that, it's a distance girth, centimeter. So I mean, I don't know. I didn't measure it, but I'm probably not that many patients. I don't know. I should know that, but I don't.
So these would actually be patients for life, similar to an outlier, but maybe simply on maintenance there.
Then there's other stuff that they need additional.
And then other skilled services, but we still have to keep them. We gotta do
We
it.
don't ever have to discharge the patient.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Is Medicare gonna continue to
Right.
pay maintenance on that?
Maintenance. It's not an outlier, it's maintenance, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So the idea, you guys get on the first round. They get admitted. Then they're ours. We tag them and we give them back to you, and round and round and round. And make sure we have 100% compliance and make sure we beat our data. We got to match or beat those data to the FDA. That has to happen.
Mhm.
You said it's just one apparatus, I guess, for one equipment per patient. If there, you mentioned something that there's malfunction with two.
One, when they went to deploy, they kind of pulled back too early, and then they just had to re-grab it and position it. They use the same one. But everything has to get reported. That's fine, but nobody. So no sensor failures in those two things. The rest was like a little bit of oozing in the leg, but that's not related. It's not connected. Nothing was adjudicated. Those two things were only adjudicated.
And the pillow you mentioned that they have to lie on for a full minute, does that have to be calibrated as well?
Nope. You're calibrated once when you put it in, then you're good to go. And that information is transmitted via cell towers to the database and sending it directly to the.
Jerry, will you have somebody come into each one of our branches to educate at least our head?
I have a therapy awareness specialist up north, and I have 2 people now fully dedicated to therapy awareness specialists that I could assign for you guys to help.
Whenever you're ready, we're ready. in the
Well, you can
back.
play this video and it probably answers some more questions.
Hughes Medical is redefining comprehensive heart failure management with the CardioMEMS HF system, the first and only FDA-approved heart failure monitor proven to significantly reduce heart failure admissions and improve quality of life in NYHA Class 3 patients. When used by clinicians to manage HF, the CardioMEMS HF system is safe and reliable, clinically proven, proactive, and personalized. Studies demonstrate that directly monitoring pulmonary artery, or PA, pressures enables early detection of worsening heart failure long before symptoms such as weight gain or blood pressure. Daily PA pressure readings can help guide the titration of medications for proactive and personalized patient management. That's one of the key benefits of the CardioMEMS HF system. The CardioMEMS HF system provides ambulatory PA pressure monitoring using a small pressure sensor permanently implanted in the distal pulmonary artery via a right heart catheterization procedure. Daily patient-initiated sensor readings are wirelessly transmitted to an external electronics unit and stored in a secure website for clinicians to access and review. The CardioMEMS PA sensor provides safe, reliable PA pressure monitoring without leads or batteries. Nitinol wire loops extend from each end of the sensor to stabilize the sensor in the implant location. The sensor is a hermetically sealed capsule containing an inductor coil and pressure-sensitive capacitor that create a resonant circuit at a specific frequency. Blood pressure affects resonant frequency, so when the blood pressure changes, the resonant frequency in the monitor changes. The external measurement system wirelessly tracks resonant frequency and uses
The actual machine is much more reliable. That would be a kind of a disaster if that happened. We get it at the the sensor and the equipment and all the educational material. That machine that you see is paired and calibrated to the sensor. That box is unique to the sensor.
At the time of implant,
Say again?
and after procedure, the box is calibrated at that point,
Yes, the box is calibrated at implant.
and the patient takes that home.
Patient takes the box home here.
Andy, two-part question. What doctor reads it and do they get paid for it?
Beautiful, great questions. So so if you launch one program, your experience is you launch one program. They're all unique, and we tailor like we do to everything because we want to customize. So we're not rigid in our thought process. So if the primary care guy wants to manage it, and I can set up the infrastructure, let him manage it. If the interventional cardiologist wants to manage it, cool beans. I'll train him, get him educated, get him up and running. So we're very fluid. And in terms of reimbursement, the reimbursement doesn't sound hefty. It's $36 a month for this monitoring. But think about it. A patient's 65 years old and has it for 20 years. You have 20 years of $36 a month for every single one of these that goes into your patient. So now you're thinking, of course, Zeus, you're thinking, now you're bringing revenue to your primary care physician. And then you ask him, when was the last home health care rep that even thought about bringing anything to you except cookie?
Have there been any cases or any other issues that can cause PA to react, to make the monitor read any kind of,
Zero in the study. It could, but as of now,
always
Zero.
going to be that specific issue causing it to react?
She's
I'm
asking
confused.
if there's anything other than a patient going into heart failure that could cause the rise of the pulmonary artery.
a false positive?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
not false positive, but something else causing it to indicate there's.
That's a false positive. So, yeah, so you're absolutely right. You can have a false positive. Can you trick the machine? You can trick the machine. You can trick the machine by having the patient stand up and taking a pressure. But when you're in a hospital setting and you're doing these PA pressures at the CVICU level, we know that that position matters. So you always tell him to do it flat. Could he trick you? Yeah, if he wanted to. But the sensor failure or error reading,
plus or minus 1 consistently with 0 other issues.
No other underlying health issues if you have a PA pressure causing that monitor to react and set a false positive.
No, the way the sensor works, it's simple. All it does is measure the pressure. It creates a RF frequency, gets a frequency, turns it into a waveform using an algorithm. So whatever that pressure is, depending on their position, is what they're going to see. Maybe I'm not understanding the question, Sharon, you know? Or maybe
I'm
not.
interpreting as best as I can.
Okay. Yeah, so in other words, their body movement can give you a different reading, but once they go back to the normal, you'll see it go back. So you'll see maybe one day's a spike, but you're treating not to the day, you're treating trends. So you'll see that was a goofy result.
Do we know if doctors can bill for reading those results?
They do. They'll do $36 a month for life.
Something important to consider is the homebound status of these patients. We're going to be helping to monitor and guarantee their compliance. We can't have a lot of service unless they're
Yeah, so what your criteria for launching, so they would follow the same portfolio that you have currently processed now. This would mean I'm just going to be sending you Medicare patients. Some are going to be outpatient, some are going to be inpatient. There'll be some that are going to be qualifying and not qualifying, I'm sure, just like anything else. But I don't know the roadblocks that you have on that.
Most, over 90% of discharges in CHF from the hospital go home with home care.
So there's an element there.
Yeah, but no, what he's saying is this is a patient for life, Zeus, and the patient could come home from the hospital temporarily homebound
Right.
and then go back to work. But if that's the case, then we measure them and we provide the data and ensure the compliance for as long as we can under the federal regs that we have to operate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I don't know, and that's I need to be educated on. I'm just thinking, I always hear Medicare and heart failure, so from my end, I have Medicare and heart failure, but I don't know the other challenges.
We've got some criteria, Jamie, that states that the patient has to be homebound, meaning that there is criteria to define homebound. So leaving the home requires a considerable and taxing effort.
Gotcha.
It is infrequent. It is for a short duration, often with the assistance of another individual or a medical device.
Got you. So there'll be a ratio, just like there probably is now, the ones that are homebound.
That is correct.
So that ratio won't change.
That is correct.
All I gotta do is tag total home health, heart failure, and St. Jude together.
That is correct.
So there'll be fallout, there'll be ups and downs, but that is the connection I want.
Jamie, in that continuum, who's monitoring the patients that you have active right now? Is it PCP, the cardiologist, who's the?
Very variable right now. Right now, I have the interventional cardiologist doing the monitoring. But remember, in order to get, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens before all of this. So before all this does, I have to make sure that guy's a believer in remote monitoring. So I have certain criteria. I want to make sure he's a partner with St. Jude already, that he's using my other devices, because this is a gift. Yeah, everybody wants it. But now it might ask. So as I'm in a relationship, hey, let me get some more of this, and then you can have some of this. You know?
Do they have to have periodic x-rays to make sure they're in state?
No. It is MRI compatible too. No X-rays. No, they go about their life. That's the beauty of it. They go about their life.
So it never moves?
No, no. It's the way it's designed. You can show that. Does that video work?
Yes.
We'll show the video. And what it is, it's a 9-knot loop that actually the pressure is going away, so it's just going to wedge itself. And when it wedges itself, in 30 days, it endothelializes. So post-operatively, you have to do dual antiplatelet therapy, which is like an aspirin and a Plavix for 30 days. After 30 days, just need aspirin. That's what the study was doing.
Like for instance, our patients, we're gonna educate them with the FDs, they have to, like, of course, they have to have a card, right? With
Right.
this, so they have to notify, like, a vital that they have a card in advance when you're going to see a doctor or.
No, not really. It's nice. They're nice. Yeah, it's fine.
Airport, I don't know, like, I'm just.
No. This is so. Did you see it? I don't know where the demo is. Don't sell it on eBay. The site was expensive. So you can look at the demo and you look at the size of that. Yeah.
So you say you're already on to Texas, so if we go see a doctor and he's interested in their product, we just give a call and then you take it from there?
Go ahead.
Where's the handheld mic? So what we have here, Jamie, are very eager salespeople. They will run out the streets tomorrow and start selling. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't sell anything. Just keep doing what you're doing. And the reason that Jamie's here today is to let you know what we are about to do. We are not ready yet.
Pilot program.
Okay?
That's very important. If you go over there and say, yeah, I'm saying you.
Oh yeah, there we go. So,
That can work in my neighborhood, it don't work over there. I got no stripes over there.
what you can do is talk to each other and get all excited, and you can research all the data on, you can Google it, get all the information you can, knowing that soon Ms. Kay is writing our clinical protocols to standardize CHF clinically in every one of our operations to make sure we are doing exactly the same thing in Broward as we are in San Antonio and as we are in Tampa and as we are in Houston, because what we sell has got to be consistent, okay? And what we do has got to be consistent. Jamie's got to finish doing whatever Jamie's doing to get things cleared and ready for us to partner. We've got to train. We've got to train our clinicians before we sell, right? Our clinicians have to know. So there's a few steps. It's very exciting. And we need to celebrate this and really be, in my opinion, be extremely grateful to have the opportunity to work with a company like St. Jude's on a launch of a piece of technology that is so innovative for our patients that are struggling with CHF. We're talking a life changer. So big deal. Just don't sell it yet.
Thank you, Jamie.
So what I have to do, since this is a yearly sales meeting, and we're here to celebrate our successes and our challenges, and inspire each other for the future. And we say why Total Home Health. I'm biased. Zeus and I built a relationship, and some of the others in the room, and then we could have gone to a larger organization and have that. Everybody who wouldn't have this conversation. But I talked earlier when we launched about something small having such a huge impact, right? And we talked about experts, and I know there's people in the room that may not have experience. I said, wow, do I have a whole bunch of experts? But I understand about 30% of you are new. Some of you may not know sales or have experience in the healthcare industry. So what I'm saying to you is no boundaries. They're talking about who's your hero, superheroes and all this. And I don't know if you guys know a guy named Evel Knievel. You guys know Evel Knievel? Evel Knievel was a crazy stuntman. He didn't have any superpowers. He didn't have anything fancy. He says, you know what? I'm going to ride this motorcycle, and we're going to do flips, and we're going to go, 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 go. That's the mentality we have to have. The story that you guys have is a beautiful story. The story of giving people opportunities. Who cares if you're an expert? It doesn't. I'm telling you, don't get hung up on that. If you don't have a degree from Harvard, who cares? I got no business standing here. I grew up in the streets of Philadelphia. That guy over there, statistically, doomed. A couple guys in your room. Oh, I never sold home health. I don't know cardiologists. So what? It's all up here. So congrats to Total Home Health.
I don't know if you can, but there's a video you can show at any time. It's on the internet as well.
Yeah, where can we find that video?
Even YouTube's got a bunch of them. There's all kinds of media campaigns going on. I mean, this is like we're gonna
$1 billion market. This is all over Wall Street. It's everywhere.
We're gonna email you guys like an attachment or something. So
And I'll get you the list, Jamie, of every AE and their contact.
Okay,
number.
thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. When tonight? Did I earn my dinner? Did I earn my steak?
Join us at GU tonight.
I'm used to picking up the bill.
Ask all the questions you want there.
fired up people here.
So isn't this something to be excited about, folks? It's a big, big, big deal. This is a game changer. It's a game changer for Total. It's a game changer for patients. It's a game changer for our industry. So each of you have the book in front of you, 212 Degrees. And is it able to come full screen, Julian? You need this mic? It is. So I want you to just we're going to take a few moments to just watch this movie and know that when we leave this room today, you've gotten so much more information than you had when you walked into it. You have so many more resources and people at your fingertips that you've met today that you've not known in the past. I want you to use it. Use that one extra degree. Give that one extra degree every single day and watch what happens. It'll be something that is absolutely explosive. So I'm going to stop talking and let Julian play. Mike made a comment this morning when he was speaking, and he said, every one of you in this room have been handpicked. And for you to have been handpicked by me, you have got to be great. And every single person in this room has amazing, amazing potential and so much greatness inside of you. And I know that all we all have to do is give that extra 1 degree. In 2015, we will exceed every one of the goals that we've set. So, my friends, I really thank you for your time on Saturday. I thank you for what I know has been true interest in this day. And I look forward to spending the evening with you. I look forward to spending a lot more years with you. Leo's gonna pass around a conference survey. It's important to me to get your feedback. I wanna know that your time was well spent, that your expectations were met. And if there is something that did not meet your expectations, I'd like to know what it is so that I can do better next time. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Dinner, Gigi's at 6:30.
Let's do something, guys. You guys remember what was the number of admissions that we had to hit at the team
For the year?
for the year?
17.
Nobody wrote it down?
I have.
Sharon, nobody wrote this down.
7,284.
7,284.
7,284.
I got one word how we're gonna hit this. We're gonna hit this together. So everybody come to the middle right now. We're gonna do a break. Everybody come through. We're gonna say it together. Let's go. And if you're out of the way, we're gonna do it again. You gotta get it right. Let's go. Tighten up. Tighten up. Let's go. Everybody, tighten up. Come on, Sharon. Aaron, let's go. Everybody, tighten up. Get in here. We're gonna practice. Some of you know how to do this, some of you don't. So we're gonna practice 3 times. Listen to me. Some of you know how to do a break, some of you don't. So we're gonna practice twice. All right. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and at the same time we all gotta say it together. We're gonna do it nice and soft first. 1, 2, 3, together. We're gonna do it again, nice and soft. 1, 2, 3, together. Try one more time. 1, 2, 3, together. All right, you guys ready now?
Yeah.
On 3. 1, 2, 3, together.
And they're gonna be laying down.
Texas account executives and people, anybody from Texas that needs a ride to Gigi's, John is going to be in the lobby when, John? At 6:15 to drive you over. And he'll make several runs back and forth. You can accommodate 12 at a time? 11 at a time.
I'm putting this in my wallet.
Thank you. I want to see that on everybody's dash.
Until somebody's driving you around.
Julian, thank you for all your work today. John, thank you for all your work today and all the days leading up to today. It's just Gigi's on the waterfront. It's about 3 miles down on the left.
Hey, I want to take a picture with the different teams from the
Different offices.
different offices. Who wants to go first?
9x4.
9x4, come on down.
See you next. Go.